Hey, I told you Greg Abbott was a little piss baby. How many more times do we have to say it? After what happened with the protests, that I will say people like this and the police turned into riots, not the students. This guy has it right. My free speech is allowed, not yours. That's what it's all about. I just signed a law protecting free speech on college campuses. But arrests are being made right now and will continue until this crowd disperses. These protesters belong in jail. Anti-Semitism will not be tolerated in Texas, period. Students joining in hate-filled anti-Semitic protests at any public college or university in Texas should be expelled. This is why Greg Abbott is a little piss baby. This is why people hate conservative Republicans. This is why these people all need to be voted out ASAP. This is why these people are garbage. I don't know who needs to hear this. I would think a lot of people do if you actually agree with what this little piss baby is telling you. This guy on Reddit has it right. My free speech is important, not yours. That's really what it's about. Actually, you know what? It's about more than that. Um, and that asshole who went there and got booed and chanted away while they cackled like hyenas. What's his name? Johnson? That piece of shit. They're like villains from some crappy dystopian movie showing up and just cackling, and they didn't go there to help anything. They went there to mock the crowd. There he is. Columbia University students boo House Speaker Mike Johnson. Yeah, I mean, he's only there to taunt people. That's the only reason he's there. And all these smirking fucking pieces of shit standing behind him. That's what they went there for. But, this other little piss baby right here, his feelings are still hurt. Being mocked by these students that he went there to mock. Don't be stupid and think they're showing up at this university because they actually give a shit about anti-Semitism. Or they're all for freedom of speech, or they respect people exercising their First Amendment rights. Yeah, why would this fucking idiot go to that campus right now? See, these people don't even know. They're going because they want to laugh at these students. They went there like a group of high schoolers who are just so happy the attention is off of them and they're not the ones getting made fun of, so they can twist the knife. That's why they went. let me make something really, really clear here. This is not about anti-Semitism. Okay? None of these students are protesting because they hate Jews. None of these students are protesting because they want horrible things to happen to Jewish people. Half of the people in that audience, half of those students that are protesting, are wearing t-shirts that say Jews against Israel. And unless they are special people, I wouldn't put it past them. Logic is not the GOP's strong suit. There are a lot of not bright people on the right. This is an example of how it's so obvious how not bright these people are and how actively harmful to America, not just to this college campus, to every college campus, every institution across the United States, these people are. This is not a protest because people hate Jews. This is a protest by people who don't want Israel to be getting funds to continue committing a genocide. That's what these protests across the nation are about. It has nothing to do with whether the people committing the genocide are Jewish or they're Islamic or they're Christian or they're Hindu. If they're from Jerusalem or Timbuktu or if they're from fucking Mars. They are against a genocide that is being committed. And these motherfuckers funding this country to help them commit a genocide. That's what it's about. It doesn't matter what country it takes place in. It doesn't even matter who the other people are that are being unalived by thousands every day. That's what the protest is about. It's about wanting ceasefires. It's about telling these people that their tax dollars pay for to stop sending their money to this country so they can use it to blow people away, to turn babies into dust. That's what these protests are about. And when people like that shithead Greg Abbott, that little piss baby, and Speaker Mike Johnson, and all the smirking crypt keeper motherfuckers that are standing behind him to show support, very similar to a group of angry, insecure school children that are just so giddy to watch a fight or to see what people's reactions are going to be to you taunting them in a very serious time. They are going to continue to twist the narrative and to anything they can do to make it look like they're coming from a good place, and they're not. Again, unless they are special people. They know exactly what they're doing. Anti-Semitism has no place on campus. You don't give a fuck about anti-Semitism. You don't give a fuck about racism. You don't give a fuck about anything to do with inequity. You're supposed to be against that, remember? DEI, you don't like that type of shit. You don't like diversity. You don't like equity.
I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you?
You don't like inclusion. I mean, you are literally the party of I got mine and you can't have yours. Certain people are better than other people. That's what your party is about. Don't give me that shit. All these protesters need to be expelled and arrested because, you know, anti-Semitism. You don't give a fuck about anti-Semitism. Israel supports you. That's how it works. Special interest groups give you money. You write the laws that give them favors. If it's between Israel and Palestine or any other Middle Eastern, primarily Islamic nation, you don't care if they all get blown away. According to you people, Israel is doing your dirty work. They're doing a lot of shit you would like to do. But imagine the riots and the protests then. The nerve of your ass. This shit that's going on. The nerve of your ass. To say this is about anti-Semitism. This is going on because people are so racist. Your car. People are so racist and people are so anti-Semitic. Yeah, it's a regular fucking Nazi protest, right? You know, unless you're special, take your pick, Greg Abbott. All of the GOP, take your pick. Are you fucking stupid or are you a fucking piece of shit that belongs nowhere near public office? Pick one. It's one or the other. Are you special or are you doing this on purpose because you love to sow discord? Either way, I don't think you belong in any position where people's tax dollars are paying you to make decisions for them. You would have to be special or you would have to be really special or a real piece of shit to use that as your excuse. You know, there are Nazi marches and protests and shit all over your state from what I see. You don't do anything about them, do you? Neither does Florida. Nazis will literally stand on street corners. They'll have their marches. They'll have their protests. They will harass random people. You're not even on a college campus. And you don't do anything about them, do you? A huge majority of people protest because of a genocide. And you order the state police to go in there and start busting heads. Not just college students' heads. They're attacking the fucking press. Something which is outrageous. Attacking a member of the press. Putting your hands on a member of the press. That should be a goddamn felony. But I'll guarantee it happened because you allow it to happen. You want it to happen. You think that members of the press are going to give up and leave? They're not going to sue the shit out of you? They're not going to keep those cameras running? Everybody has a fucking camera, you little piss baby. Did you think no one was going to capture that? Police throwing down a member of the press, a person who is not even a part of the protest. They're there to keep an eye on you. and let everybody in this country and the world know exactly what you're doing. You think they're just going to get up and leave? It's about anti-Semitism. It's about hate. You fucking piece of shit. You little piss baby. You're either special or you did that on purpose. It has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. Absolutely nothing. And you either know that or you're special. You don't like that people are using their First Amendment rights for anything you don't like, especially when you're getting paid by the other side, especially when that's how you're buying your new boat this summer. The nerve of your ass. And you think people are going to buy that. Such a pathetic, blatant lie. Oh my God, it defies description how fucking stupid these right-wingers are. And that's why, Johnson, whose hard drive needs to be checked, if you ask me. Ask anybody. He didn't go there. He didn't go there for any good reason. He went there to taunt these students. And all those crypt keeper bastards behind him sitting there smirking, they're loving it, and enjoy your free speech, he said. Yeah, we will. We absolutely will. And you send in cops to bust some heads. I hope they all sue your fucking state, and then they go back out the next day to protest. Just because you're a piece of shit. Just because they want you to know how much everyone in this country hates you. And you could even see it right there on his face. He went there. He's surrounded by all these cronies. And it didn't go so well for him. I love that. His little feelings were hurt. Because the crowd is going to tell him to his face, you're a piece of shit. These students should be expelled. These students need to get a scholarship. I know somebody who said, you get paid to go to college. What are they doing protesting? Yeah? And people get paid to work. People get paid to walk dogs. People get paid to pour coffee. People get paid in child support. People work at gas stations. People raise kids. What are you trying to say? That they don't have freedom of speech anymore? These kids are not allowed to protest because they're going to college. What the fuck type of logic is that? College campuses are like the hub of protest and revolt. These are adults. These are younger adults. These are people who, a lot of them are on their own for the first time in their lives. They got their first real taste of freedom, and these are the people who will be wiping your ass in a couple of decades when you're too old, or so you think. This is how people like you end up in the best nursing home that the state can fund. I had to rant and rave about this because yeah, and now Reddit's off of it. It's like they don't give a shit anymore, but it has to be said, anybody who believes what Piss Baby Greg Abbott or Mike Johnson or any of these right-wing Republican conservative shills are saying about the protests, anyone who believes it, you deserve everything that you get. A 5-year-old could see that this whole anti-Semitic hate speech thing, that right there, this guy should be dragged out of his office like the piece of shit he is, thrown out onto his ass, followed by his desk and his chair and whatever, and, told, you are banished from the United States for 100 years. There are some things that are just so fucking stupid. It defies description how anybody can look at what you're saying, what your excuses are for it, and not know exactly what it's really about. And it's so stupid. There has got to be something mentally wrong with you that you think other people are actually going to believe you when you come up with these stupid ass reasons for infringing on people's rights and abusing the public whose money pays you. I don't know. We need some type of new rule, some type of new law in this country. Which says that we can absolutely do that. We can just go in there, lift him up, chair and all, carry him outside, and dump his ass into the mud and say, no. You're out of the job. The people have spoken. Get your shit. Actually, we got your shit for you. Get the fuck out. I am sick of stupid ass Republican conservative IQ of a fucking turnip, maturity level of a 5th grader running shit in this country. And I think a lot of these goons standing behind Mike Johnson, they know that they're getting away with it. Some of them know. Some of them are just over the line into normal intelligence that I think they can figure out. They know exactly what they're doing. They think they're getting away with it. They're not. But it doesn't matter to them because in the end, it's really, what are you going to do about it? And this is why we need a law where the people can go in, lift these people up with their chairs and throw them out on their ass and say, we've all taken an emergency vote. This is the age of the internet. We could do something like that. We could absolutely do something like that. This is not the days of the Pony Express anymore. We could set something up where we could take care of votes nationwide like that, overnight. And we could have them recounted and recounted again and recounted a fourth time like that. Could go just by social security number. All you have to do is say, okay, yeah, it's come to our attention that so-and-so is a little piss baby and a total piece of shit and is doing all of this on purpose under the guise of we don't like anti-Semitism and hate speech. Hate speech. The Nazis he doesn't do anything about. Again, white supremacists he doesn't do anything about. But these people, they're protesting against a genocide. We don't like racism. We don't like anti-Semitism. We will absolutely stand against fuck you and your special man attempts at trying to cover your ass for what you're doing. Like you give a fuck about anti-Semitism either. Well, we've all taken a vote. Not just everybody in the state of Texas, but everybody in the nation. They just logged on, verified their social security and hit a button. And all these votes came in by midnight. And they've already been tabulated and recounted a second time and a third time and a fourth time for good luck. And it's overwhelming majority that says, get your shit and get the fuck out. You're a loser. What is this? Ugh. Is my speaker off again?
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Dancing.
Stupid fucking speaker. I am always in the mood to see cops get owned. Ha 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 ha. I'm allowed to speed. Oh, I love it. In the full video, he gets angry and tells her he was following someone else, a suspect of some other crime or felony. Oh, so he decided to just ditch that to get her a speeding ticket? And she called him out on that too. Yeah, you forget the cop is going to be in court. He gets paid because he's on the clock, and you have to pay your own lawyer. I don't get lawyers for speeding tickets. The fuck is wrong with you? Goddamn bootlickers. Another thing wrong with our country. Oh yeah, I'm just so owned. You know how many times I've been in court for speeding tickets? You think people actually get lawyers over speeding tickets? And yeah, this other guy is right. People do usually get them thrown out. Uh-oh.
Driver's license, you roll right through check.
What do you need to check my driver's license for?
We're doing a driver's license check, so you need to see your driver's license.
No, you don't. Can you tell me what crime I've committed? Did you catch me speeding?
You didn't commit a crime. We're checking the driver's
Right.
license.
And you can't, this is not a stop and identify state. Yes.
Can we see your license?
No, sir.
So why are you making this harder than what it is?
Because I have constitutional rights that keep me from being harassed.
You're not harassing
You are harassing me.
the checkpoint that we was at, and you just
And that's a constitutional violation. You cannot stop and identify me unless I've committed a crime.
Man, where your license at?
Did I commit a crime?
Either you give me your license, we're gonna break this window and get you out of this car.
Is that a fact? Would you like to lose your qualified immunity? You will. Do y'all have a supervisor available?
Man, you making this hard. I don't even want to go through this.
Why are you making it so hard? Just do whatever we say just because we say it. Man, I love it when people just own the fuck out of cops.
Can I just see your license, please?
What you're not understanding is
I thought you were going to smash the window and drag him out. Why aren't you doing that?
have a constitutional right not to be stopped and harassed. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
No, the line isn't on the receipt. Okay, you can record me all you want.
Good, let's go.
Let's go to my office then. Come on, let's go. Follow me.
What?
Let's go.
Why are you shooting me? You need to know.
Can you go to the office, please?
I'm Boeing, and don't treat me like a fucking criminal, because I'm not. Never stolen anything in my 45 years, thank you.
So if you want to follow me.
As a matter of fact, I will show you a list of receipts on my app that I shop here almost daily. But that'll stop right now. Yeah, you're gonna leave the door open, look through my shit. I have to go, so you can look through my shit. Here, what do you want to see? My iPad. These were wet from work. Okay.
The lion isn't on the receipt.
Really?
Yeah, it isn't. Where is it?
Bullshit.
Really? Because the line's $15? I don't.
$10.
No, it isn't. I just looked it up.
Holy shit. Really? What's the price on it? Huh? You're telling me it's $15, it's $7, right? According to your website, it's $7, and according to the price tag. And you're gonna sit here and make me look like a fucking criminal?
It's $15.
Okay, ring it up. Do you think there's some magic way to ring it up at $7?
I don't feel like doing this.
Yeah, I bet you don't, because you made me look like a fucking idiot. You piece of shit. This is the last fucking time I'll be at your store. This shit's going all over the fucking news. Yeah, your face a little...
They don't call them rednecks for no reason. Oh my God. You know, and all these videos today, all these types of videos, it's all people that you give them just a little bit of power and authority. You give them just an inch, they take a mile. This is the type of shit that people need to crack down on big time in this country. Big time. And this to me, Tomato face little piece of shit needs to get fired. So easy to just apologize when you've made a mistake. Would have de-escalated the situation and redeemed him to some extent, but he can't even do that. He's a total wannabe cop, a great value cop. No, and that's exactly why he's not going to apologize. He went all in with his attack on this woman. He can't just simply apologize because it's no longer a matter of everything being better by just simply apologizing. This is a termination from your job, which is a given if he apologizes and admits fault. That's why he won't apologize. Uh-oh. Nah, I don't want to read about shit in England. Video is misleading, possibly deliberately so. There are people born with Y chromosomes who are female, and it's actually not that rare. To say so is not leftist. You would need an education in genetics. Furthermore, there are people born intersex, and that is genetic. You look like a nice guy, Philip, but she's a pediatrician. And I'm the president of the International Genetics Federation. Uh-oh. Cringy.
How long has it been, huh? 7 years. Give it up for these guys. 7 years, man. Come on, clap, you miserable fucking. Where you at? Good for you, man. Yeah, you better go home and get lucky tonight, bud. It's only been 7 years right there. Yeah. There you go. You guys don't got to argue about it. You don't got to be in the car and argue. You put me on the spot. Hold on here. Before I get out of here, who the hell is in the back there? Hold on here. Hold on here. Hold on here. Who the hell is... No. Don't tell me it. Who is this? Who the hell got in here? It's Stone Cold E.T. What the fuck is Stone Cold E.T. doing here? Don't come in here, Stone Cold E.T. Don't come in here.
Yeah, we get it. And you know what? Stop talking about what Donald Trump does to violate his gag order. Okay, because nobody is going to do anything. He'd be locked up during his trial and then, bitching and complaining about having to sit up straight when he's in court wouldn't be a concern for him anymore, but nobody's going to do anything. When transphobia backfires, J.K. Rowling told this trans man he'd never be a real woman. Okay.
Hey, come talk. Let's leave. Laisse-le faire. Comment elle va te laisser faire, mon gars?
Everyone wants to criticize the IDF's response, but nobody wants to tell me what should Israel be doing to retaliate October 7th, eradicate Hamas from preventing another October 7th, and bringing hostages home.
I have an idea. How about not getting the hostages?
I have an answer.
Thank you for proving my point.
It's called the dissolution of the apartheid regime. Dissolve the apartheid regime.
So what would you like to
allow
see happen,
Palestinians
Hassan?
breathing room. Do you not understand the English language? Dissolve the apartheid regime.
You need a Xanax, first of all. You need a Xanax. They had a chance to rebuild, but they spent the last 15 plus years crying that they don't have enough land, because there is never enough land for them instead of rebuilding.
Israel has
Just build
not
terrorist
allowed
tunnels
Palestinians to have a nation state that they deserve by international law since the inception of the Israeli nation state. The fact that you brought up the last 15 years as Palestinians crying is disgusting.
Oh, I have one more question.
You are a disgusting little monster who thinks that not offering contiguity to the Palestinians in the form of a state is just simply Palestinians crying.
Okay. I would have said she needs the collagen drained out of her lips. I bet Piers was rubbing one out under the desk. It wouldn't get half as toxic if the prick ever bothered to actually moderate the discussion instead of fishing for sound bites. Piers is the political version of Maury. I did like him on Britain's Got Talent. If you watch the segment right before this one, he had crackhead Barney on. The woman who recently went viral harassing Alec Baldwin. It went about as well as you might expect. Crackhead Barney. There is no two-siding genocide. What did you expect a full mouth of Botox to say? I would have went for it. Fuck that. She's 22 years old? Yeah, right. She looks like she's 50. Yeah, probably why she self-reported that she uses Xanax. Yeah, how would you know what Xanax is or what it does? You use that shit. You know about medications when you're prescribed them. And they brought her on to speak about one of the worst genocides in modern history. And she's saying Palestinians are crybabies. Why the fuck are we putting the opinions of children on TV in a debate against a serious issue? I don't know. They've got to be really hard up for guests. Okay, all right. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. full hour was an absolute shit show. And filler. Okay, yeah, we get it. I mean, it was such low-hanging fruit, but obviously nobody took it. Nobody has a better idea on that to do than kill tens of thousands of civilians. No one knows what Israel should be doing. These guys are fucking stupid. Tell me you take Xanax without telling me you take Xanax. Yeah, yeah. It was low-hanging fruit. Nobody took it. Okay, now get off the collagen lip shit. I would have brought it up, but whatever. They all take cheap shots just to derail the conversation. He fucked himself when he was talking about the guy on the right who was being respectful. He told him, I don't know who the fuck you are. Just destroyed his credibility. Join the side that condones mass slaughter of the Untermenschen because we're winning. Making excuses for October 7th. Yeah, piss baby Greg Abbott is making plenty of excuses as well. And these people aren't even Palestinians. They're just people that don't want their money to go towards turning children into skeletons anymore. But piss baby Greg Abbott and all the people like them, they get this from Israel, and that's what they're all about. So they're going to send people to quash any resistance whatsoever and then say, everybody is out here because they're anti-Semitic. They want bad things to happen to certain groups of people, and we don't stand for that. Ha ha! See, we did it too. We just say it, because that's what they always complain about. We said it too. And so now they're all supposed to listen to us and think we actually have souls and we're not just making it up. And that's why we're horrible piss babies. Yeah. We get it. Piers Morgan sucks. You should watch the rest of the interview. No thanks. Eh. Yeah. And they want to bitch about, I don't know you, who are you? None of these people are important enough for me to give a shit at the end of the day. I don't know if anybody else should either. Who wants to hinge everything on an issue on people like Piers Morgan or anyone he'd have on his show? I could go on there and say the same shit. Anybody could. Who the hell would be able to stand Piers Morgan? You want to have a discussion, you need to have a discussion without sponsor breaks or Piers Morgan. Ugh.
At any given time, roughly percent.
Okay. The assassination of political rivals is an official act. Understand what the Trump team is arguing for here. Take it seriously and at face value. This is not a game. Now, this is somebody people need to be listening to. AOC. Here's somebody else your tax dollars pay to help pass laws. And this one actually has an IQ higher than that of a grape nut. If we had about 100 more like her, at least, this country would be a very different place.
We know we've killed about 15,000 terrorists. There was a terrible battle in those areas. So the chances are...
How do you think these people died?
In gun battles with Israel.
Why do you think some of the bodies were found with ties around their hands?
Well, because we probably arrested the terrorists.
And then killed them.
Well, I don't know if the terrorists fought back. I wasn't there. But all I can tell you is that this has been a very difficult urban warfare, that nobody on earth has experienced this type of warfare, where the terrorists are hiding in tunnels, where they're cowards because they won't face their enemy. They just leave innocent people up there whilst they hide in tunnels that are bigger than the London Underground. And they come out, they shoot, and it could be that many of them were shot, and they were shooting in a battle, and it could be that there were bombs thrown by them and grenades. There could be a million different scenarios of why these were found, but remember, we're in the middle of it.
I just to clarify for me, if you would, how do they fight back with their hands tied behind their backs?
Well, we don't know what they were doing before their hands were tied behind their backs, do we?
No, but if you managed to cable tie them, they shouldn't, subsequently find them dead, should we?
And maybe, again, we're just conjecturing. Maybe his friends threw a grenade, and then what happens? Maybe there was a missile, maybe they threw a rocket, and then what happens? Again, this is conjecture. I wasn't there, you weren't there.
Yeah, you sure as hell weren't. And you aren't all there. LinkedIn sales influencer gets called out and shamed. Ooh. If you cancel, if any of the above, never let a client deal you disrespect. Funny you're posting this since you didn't show up to our scheduled meeting and didn't give any explanation afterwards. So which card is it according to you? Yeah, okay. Ha, here we go. An attempt to claim protests mean you're anti-Semitic.
No, Mr. Netanyahu.
Bird,
It is not anti-Semitic or pro-Hamas to point out that in a little over 6 months, your extremist government has killed 34,000 Palestinians and wounded more than 78,000, 70% of whom are women and children. It is not anti-Semitic to point out that your bombing has completely destroyed more than 221,000 housing units in Gaza, leaving more than 1 million people homeless, almost half the population. It is not anti-Semitic to note that your government has obliterated Gaza's civilian infrastructure, electricity, water, and sewage. It is not anti-Semitic to realize that your government has annihilated Gaza's healthcare system, knocking 26 hospitals out of service and killing more than 400 healthcare workers. It is not anti-Semitic to condemn your government's destruction of all of Gaza's 12 universities and 56 of its schools, with hundreds more damaged, leaving 625,000 students with no educational opportunities. It is not anti-Semitic to agree with virtually every humanitarian organization in saying that your government, in violation of American law, has unreasonably blocked humanitarian aid coming into Gaza, creating the conditions in which so many thousands of children face malnutrition and famine. Mr. Netanyahu, anti-Semitism is a vile and disgusting form of bigotry that has done unspeakable harm to many millions of people. But please, do not insult the intelligence of the American people by attempting to distract us from the immoral and illegal war policies of your extremist and racist government. Do not use anti-Semitism to deflect attention from the criminal indictment you are facing in the Israeli courts. It is not anti-Semitic to hold you accountable for your actions.
I'm sorry, I would
Everyone
have
wants to
gone.
criticize the IDF response.
I would have gone a lot harsher. Ah, Utah Karen. I can't help but wonder what Rush Limbaugh would say. Probably, I'm burning. Blah, blah, blah. Kansas gays against groomers leader outed a straight woman who grooms her own children for pedos. Kristi Noem is telling everybody she murdered a puppy because she wants to be Donald's BP and she thinks that this will appeal to him. And she ain't wrong. Oh, God. Another guy murdered by cops. Telling them repeatedly he couldn't breathe. You know, this is kind of like with school shootings. It keeps happening and nothing keeps getting done. Again, age of the internet, folks. We should be doing instant nationwide votes online and clean up this country real fucking quick. Never any attempt to be better from American police. The minute they arrive on scene, 0 to 60, And then you'll see female cops not reacting with aggression, and people will say that's why they're useless. They must be trained to be insulted and cry when intimidation doesn't work. You know, training for putting on makeup is longer than the cops. Barbers get more training. They all train as bullies in public school. No, dude, that's something else you don't get. These aren't people who trained as bullies. These are people who became cops because they spent half their high school years stuffed in lockers. Don't be an idiot and think that these were people that had any friends or any semblance of popularity when they were in school. If they did, they wouldn't have become cops. They become cops because they have manhood problems, because they need to make up for something that happened in their life. Cops are not bright people. They are not good people. And I'm not saying that it should be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. This is the reality in our country. This is the way it is in our country. These are the cold, hard facts. It is exactly this way because that is what the profession attracts. People that want to show the world how big they are now, after spending all their high school years being stuffed in lockers, after spending their entire lives getting really pissed off because they're insecure, they're not bright, they can't succeed in anything else. It's like how, camp counselors and gym teachers, they attract pedophiles. It's like how the priesthood attracts self-hating pedophiles. Anyone can see the writing on the wall. We've got more than enough proof. We just know these things in this day and age. The younger generations are the best educated in the history of this country. Everybody has at least a basic college level education and understanding of the most simple fundamentals of human psychology. We know this shit. It's really sad that we know this shit and nobody does anything. That's got to be some higher level of psychology that not a lot of people are familiar with. I don't know. It's sad. I hope we do I hope this guy gets the exact same turnout that George Floyd did. I hope it happens all over again. I want to see cops crying in McDonald's drive-thrus because they think people are trying to spike their McNuggets. That's what I want to see again. I want to see another guy get murdered by cops and have the response be so overwhelming that police response to it is to cry on TikTok and other social media sites because they're afraid that everywhere they go, people are looking at them like they're pieces of shit. And now I don't know if I should drink my coffee because I don't know if they gave me the old coffee or if they put something in it because they think I'm such a piece of shit. This guy is dead. And you're upset because you think people might have done something to your coffee. And you want to know why they'll think somebody did something to their coffee? Because they didn't get the coffee for free. Because after all, it's just a courtesy. They're the community's heroes. So everybody should fear and worship them and give them free shit. And if they don't get the free shit, or people make it obvious they have zero respect for them at all, that's going to be earth-shattering to them. And they're not going to be able to put 2 and 2 together. They're not going to stop and say, maybe it's because, you know, somebody else is dead because of you. Maybe it's because you're a piece of shit. And there is something seriously wrong with your profession and anybody that would want to be a part of that profession. And the fact that they'll never put 2 and 2 together is just further proving the point. I don't know. I'm out.